Good afternoon, race fans. We're here for your race day update for the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series presented by Sweet Victory Apparel Company. It's day number 2 at the Why Not Motorsports Park here in Meridian, Mississippi. And Joshua Joyner, Travis Scott. Joshua, what a show we had last night. The House of Hook lived up to its name.
Do you understand now why I talked so good about this place?
Yeah,
I know it was your first time here. Were you impressed?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And what a great race we had last night. 8 official lead changes among 3 different drivers in a caution-free 40-lap feature that saw a first-time winner.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
I was going to say, I think, I obviously don't play any favorites here and show any bias, but seeing Trey Mills get that big first win after such a thrilling race, I feel like that was a fitting finish to have him winning and an emotional victory there. I think everyone was happy to see it, even Peyton Freeman, who finished second to him and didn't get the win. I'm sure he'd have rather have won, but thought it was cool to see young Trey Mills, 15-year-old Trey Mills, getting his first Super Series win and Super Late Model win.
They said the party back here only lasted until about 4 a.m. this morning. You know, everybody was so happy. And how cool was it to see Trey Mills sitting in victory lane, and the first 2 people that were to him were the guys who finished second and third, Peyton Freeman, Will Harrington, and then we got back here to the pit area and all these guys were coming over. Trey just had driver after driver coming and saying congratulations.
I think when everyone can see, everyone recognizes that, this young kid who, when we started out the year, maybe was there with some question marks, like, when drivers racing around him, they might have, what's he going to do, where's he going to go? I think very quickly guys caught on that, hey, this kid knows what he's doing. He's smart behind the wheel. He's not going to do anything they knew they could race around him. And then then it turned to not just we can race around him, we're gonna have to work to beat him, And I think I talking to other drivers and hearing what they say in the pit area, because drivers talk and you kind of pick up on it. That's been kind of the evolution, and I really don't think anyone was surprised that he won last night. Maybe not here, track he had never been to this quick, but I think he's shown that he was capable of pulling off the victory, and obviously last night he did.
Yeah, and the word respect has been used so much. For a 15-year-old driver to have that respect, to your point, it's because they've raced with him all year long and they know just how respectful he is on the racetrack.
Yeah, and that's like I said, that's one thing. When you look at a young guy, you kind of getting started in a division like Super Late Models, is you kind of see do they kind of just maintain and hold their own and honestly stay out of the way. Obviously, that's not an issue with Trey anymore. I think he's proven that he's gonna be a threat to win races, and hey, he might be a threat with in this points battle as things start to shape up here. We got a long way to go. Mid-season points ends next week, but overall we got a long way to go, and he's going to be tough to beat.
So, last night, 34 cars representing 9 states of competition. They're all still here. These guys are hard at work getting ready for what's sure to be another great night.
Yeah, I just want to point out that it was really cool. 34 cars, I think, was really good for this event. I'm really happy with that from the series standpoint. Even happier with the number of first-time drivers we have here at Why Not that have not been to Why Not before. Mentioned Trey Mills, it was his first race here.
Kenny Collins,
David McCoy, John Henderson.
Yep.
Cool to see guys coming to this place for the first time, and so far everyone I've talked to has raved about it.
They loved it. Loved it. I mean, everybody's talked about just how great of a racetrack it was, racy all over. And we talked about last night's race, caution-free. Again, 8 official lead changes in a 40-lap feature. But I talked to a lot of the folks that were here, and they were like, it wasn't as good last night as it could have been.
Yes.
Right?
If the top was there and it was as good as the bottom in the middle, you could have had 3 drivers swapping the lead every other lap, just about.
Kind of like that first heat race.
Yeah, and I was going to point out, the cool thing about Why Not here is, for a lot of tracks, you sacrifice the heat races to have a good feature, or you sacrifice the feature to have good heat races. You don't usually have both, but all night here was good racing. That first heat race, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the replay of that first heat race. That was one of the best heat races I've ever saw. And then just all night racing was good, and I think we're going to see more of it tonight. Track's looking good. Weather so far is looking good, and I think everyone's really excited to get another night in here at Why Not.
How good was it to see Peyton Freeman have a good run last night? Led 26 laps, I believe, the most of any driver. Just the start he had to the year, just not up to the standings. Flipped a car at Magnolia. Now he's on the ascension.
Yeah, you talk about a guy that needed a good run, and that was Peyton. And after qualifying, he was one of the first cars out, and he went quick time, and we hold the fast qualifier till it's done to check their droop, and he was the first one I had to hold, and he was there for a couple cars before Joseph Joyner knocked him off. But when he came out of the car, he's like, I think I finally have I might get some luck tonight, or things go to my way tonight. Of course, then he got knocked off a fast time and kind of did like that, but it was still a good time, and obviously came out with a pretty good run. But you could tell, like, he's like, man, I feel like I have something going my way. I think he does, too. Looking at the way things have been going for him, I think he's on the upswing, and I think he's going to have, as we go into the second half of the year, I think he's going to have a good second half of the season.
So he went from 6th to 5th in the point standings last night. Will Harrington extending his point lead. Joseph Joyner breaks the tie with Putnam, moves into 2nd. Putnam back to 3rd, but you've got Trey Mills sitting there in 4th.
Yeah, I think it's really a really tight points battle throughout. Will did extend his points lead, but everywhere else it kind of tightened up. And I think as we're looking at the midseason points deal, we're going to crown a midseason champion after our doubleheader next week. So we've got 3 more races for that. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that shakes out. Will started kind of slow here last night, didn't qualify very well, moved up in his heat race, and then had a good run to finish 3rd in the feature. Joseph had qualified good, but then had a mishap in his heat race that set him back and ended up going 13th to 6th. So the cream is rising to the top, and it's just going to be a matter of those guys who can come out on top these next few races and who's going to be our midseason points champion.
Hunt the Front Series regulars sweeping the podium last night, top 3. If there's one driver in this pit area that's not a Hunt the Front regular that can win, who is it?
I'm going with Neil Baggett.
Yeah.
He was obviously the top non-regular in last night, finishing 5th. He's really good here. This is kind of really his home track, one of his home tracks with the Mississippi State Series. I would not be surprised at all to see him come out and tune on it a little bit, get a little better, and be potentially the man to beat tonight.
All right, so on-track action will start around 7 o'clock. If you can make it out here to Why Not Motorsports Park, we'd love to have you. If not, catch us on huntthefront.tv.